The college basketball experience Final Four pick show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet is what you need to win. Bet $100, get $100 at winbet.com or download the WinBet app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Final Four Watch Party. Yes, what are you doing this Saturday? You're watching the Final Four. Well, come watch it. You don't need to listen to Nance. You can come watch it with us. Put it on mute because me, Stacking the Money Green, Real Money Kramer, will be live all day doing some play-by-play, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We got, live betting will be going on. We're going to give away some prizes. You got it covered. So make sure you check it out. YouTube.com/sports gambling podcast. Also, make sure to fill out our listener survey for a chance to win a $100 SGPN gift card. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survey. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Eric Metcalf. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience Final Four pick show. God damn it, we're running out of games. We're at the end of the road here. And we just watched an NIT Classic. What a great NIT we had. Cannot wait for next year at Hinkle Fieldhouse. But perhaps you're sitting there wondering who the hell you're listening to, which is a good question because, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Oh, man. Only 3 games left. Teardrop. Subscribe, youtube.com/the college experience. You can watch the show. We ain't going away if the season's going away. We got to talk about coaches, conference changes, realignment, conference races. The transfer portal's got 1,100 people or 1,200 people in it. We ain't stopping. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. I give you Ryan McIntyre. What's up, brother?
What is going on? Hey, how about the Mean Green getting it done in the NIT? Grant McCaslin, most likely the last game there in Denton, Texas, and he's going to Lubbock now. New Big 12 coach. Let's go.
I mean, what a way to go out. I got it right, but what a game. That was a great game. I didn't want to hit live until that game was resolved. We are joined by a special guest. And I've been I've been wanting to get this guy on the show. He writes college basketball for SGPN, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Get the SGPN app, free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. But he also is the host of the MLS Gambling Podcast. So college basketball fan. He's also killing it with the MLS Gambling Podcast, which you should be subscribed to right now, folks. All right. I give you Jacob Reb. How you doing, brother?
Hello. I am so excited to be here. And now now that college basketball is ending, MLB starting, I'll be writing MLB for SGPN. So keep an eye out. Had an opening day sweep today, 3-0. Not a bad way to start the season. And the new MLS Gambling Podcast just dropped like 2 minutes ago, right before we started this. So Glad to be here. Ready to drop some Final Four knowledge on you guys. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Everyone go check out, get the SGP out, check out his writing, and also the MLS Gambling Podcast. And obviously the guy went 3-0. Give him a follow. On, I even got that right there at Pick Management on Twitter. Look at me. Look at sophisticated Colby over here,
like it.
Sitting there typing up this shit. All right. Look at this. No, man, I'm excited to have you on the show. I've read some of your articles, and I know you're knowledgeable about college basketball, which I can always appreciate. And I know you're with our friend Hoops Peterson, who I will be on actually later tonight. So, folks, check out VSiN later tonight. I'll be talking college hoops, talking a little XFL, all that good stuff. But here we are, guys. 3 games left. Coaching hires are going left and right. NIT's a wrap. I mean, is this what it is? I feel like it's like sending your kid off. You know what I mean? First day of college here. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, come on, fuck. I only have 3 games left. What am I supposed to do? Well, you got other sports going, but damn it. I college football doesn't do this. I mean, look, college football I love, but it's not every single night. So I get in this routine of every night I'm jamming out episodes, and then all of a sudden it stops. And I'm like a drug addict without the drugs. I'm just like, what am I doing here? I load up old games, kind of fills the void. But anyway, guys, Final Four is here. I feel like a broken record here, but I'm going to ask this question in case we have new listeners. What do you make of the Final Four in general this year, Mac?
Absolutely fantastic. And I tweeted out last night, if you don't like this Final Four, go watch the Load Management League. I mean, this is the best kind of Final Four ever in terms of parity for our game. You got 2 teams in one semifinal that are combined 66-9, and everybody's like, these teams aren't any good. I'm like, what are you talking about? These 2 teams have only lost 9 games combined since November 7th. UConn, Ken Palm wise, is the number 1 team in the country and probably has the highest ceiling. And then obviously Miami has Larinaga, a future Hall of Famer. So this is a good Final Four. I'm excited.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. Jacob, what do you make of this Final Four in general, in all your years of watching college basketball and this year and what it presents?
I don't know. It's been a nightmare, college basketball, March Madness for me. Honestly, I had San Diego State out in the first round, losing to Charleston. That Charleston was my dark horse. FAU was my other one, so I had that going. But I didn't have high hopes for San Diego State, and I am really shocked to see them here. I think it's big difference between them and FAU, and I think that's going to be the game to watch. I really like UConn here against Miami, but yeah, it's been a hell of a tournament.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, as far as like actual great games, maybe
Sure.
I think only one buzzer beater, but fuck, I mean, for great game's sake, it has just been so many good games. I think it's the best tournament we've had in quite a while, at least. But I look at the Final Four and I love it. I was on ESPN Missoula today, hitting our Montana demographic, and they were asking me, it was funny. They were saying, isn't this bad for the sport? And I was like, no, for Joe Schmo that somewhat dips his face in college basketball, maybe, but you know what? Fuck him. All right. I don't care. All right. I look, for the people that watch college basketball every day, this is fantastic. All right.
Yes.
You care less about, CBS president's going to be upset with the television ratings because they're small schools. Fuck him. I don't care. You know what I mean? Unless he wants to give me a job, maybe, you want to offer me a couple mil, I'll broadcast that game. But anyway, you see my point though, is it's like, I feel like everyone is making this out to be a negative. I think this is a positive. I mean, am I crazy, Jacob?
Well, I think it's really great for the smaller conferences and smaller schools out there. We've seen a lot of, smaller schools have some great success this year, like Conference USA, and mid-major schools, and because of that, I think it's great for the sport. It's giving the trade portal we're seeing now with the new rules, people moving all over the place, and it's gonna I think open up some of the competition in college basketball for some of these smaller schools to really start dominating. I mean, how often do we get to see Gonzaga get blown out by 30 points?
Yeah. And I think clearly we should have had, multiple Conference USA teams in there. I think it's a positive that college basketball has this. Mac, I mean, what would you say if you were if they had asked you that question on and shout out to our good friends at ESPN Missoula. I'm not trying to bag you. I'm just saying they asked me that question. Mac, what would you say to that?
No, like I said, this is the best tournament in a while. I mean, since everybody remembers the George Masons, the VCUs, the Loyola Chicagos, the teams that have gone on runs. And we should have had more Conference USA teams. We talked about how if Jelly Walker was healthy from the get-go, that this team would have had a chance to be an at-large team. Clearly, North Texas was good enough as well. I don't get that whole narrative that these teams suck. It's like Florida Atlantic just beat Memphis, Tennessee, and Kansas State. How can you say that they don't deserve to be in the Final Four? I mean, San Diego State just beat Alabama, beat the shit out of them too. I mean, physically dominated them, and then beat Creighton, who's really good too. It's like,
I mean, they have over 30 wins. To me, that's not a gimmick.
Both of them.
You know what I mean? Like, you've been good the whole year. Now, sure, we might have faded you in March or whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean you weren't a good team the entire season. So, I agree. So, all right. Well, look, we're just going to hop into it, I guess. I mean, unless you want to touch base on anything off season news, because I feel like, we only have 2 games to cover here. Now we're going to talk over and under and what we think on each game and how it will go. But is there anything, Mac, that we should note? I know the portal is absolutely fucking crazy right now. I'm afraid to sign into Twitter because it's just like, oh, Posh Alexander. Oh, he's a damn good player. Oh, and it's just like, it's just information overload. It's information overload. I had to tell my wife, I was like, I got to go to airplane mode and no notifications. You ever accidentally go into airplane mode for like a week? I've done that before. I've done that before for like 4 days. I'm like, damn, my brother said he hit me up. He never hit me up. And then it turned out it was just me being an idiot because I was in airplane mode. But it's actually like the best thing that you can do with your life. At certain points of the season, like the fact the season's ending, like it's actually, I highly recommend like 4 days in airplane mode. Live like it's like 1985. You know what I mean? Like you just no internet. You're just like, it's a nice day out today. I think I'll have a Capri Sun.
Your text got lost in the cloud.
Yeah. Listen, any day is a good day for a Capri Sun.
Amen. All right. Well, look, I guess we'll just jump right in to these awesome games. Saturday.
Do you want to talk coaches real quick?
Sure, we can do that. I like to get. I like for the fans to hear us rattle about. We could talk anything. We could talk best Nintendo games. We could talk. Really anything. I finally saw Cocaine Bear. We can do an analysis there, but coaching news. So what you got? Mike Rhodes leaves VCU for Penn State. I'm a bit shocked he made that move. I understand it's a lot more money, so I guess I shouldn't be shocked. But at the same time, I feel like if he waited another year, he might have had some better opportunities because I don't look at Penn State as like just a great place for building basketball culture. I think it's actually like you got your work cut out for you. What'd you make of that hire? What'd you make of that hire, Mac?
It's interesting because he's hopping on at like an all-time high. Micah Shrewsbury did a great job there and obviously got them to the tournament, but it'll be interesting to see what he does recruiting-wise because Ace Baldwin just went in the portal. We talked about the transfer portal. So does Ace Baldwin follow him from Richmond all the way up to State College? And then the other aspect, who's replacing Mike Rhodes is Ryan Odom from Utah State back on the East Coast.
That made sense. I'll be honest. When Odom took the Utah State job, I was a bit perplexed. I understand it was a better gig than UMBC, so I'm like, okay, get paid. But I didn't. He had spent his whole life in like the Atlantic Coast, so I was like, wow, life in Logan. Jacob, what do you make of both those coaching hires by Penn State and VCU?
Well, you got to get the best that's out there, and I think that's what Penn State's trying to do. I mean, overall, as an athletic school as a whole, they're trying to build their programs across the board, and I can see wanting to get a bit of an upgrade. And honestly, I haven't taken a look at the other move yet. I've been so swamped today. So full disclosure, I have not taken a look at the other one. So
right on. Well, you basically say that one sucks. But okay. No, I'm fucking with you. And then what we saw Abdul Rahim from Kennesaw State, the brother of Sharif Abdul Rahim, landed at South Florida. I thought that was a good hire. Kennesaw State was a fun watch this whole year. I kind of wanted him to stay at Kennesaw State because I still believe South Florida. I've never met a fan of the South Florida Bulls in my life. And I know I remember when they went to like the Sweet 16, like 15 years ago, but I still don't think I've ever met a South Florida fan in my life. But you know, I think it's a good hire. I think he's a good basketball coach, but wait, so he was hired there. What else do we have? We're waiting on McCaskill. I'm assuming is going to be named Texas Tech's head coach. Mark Madsen goes to Cal.
Which is interesting because he played at Stanford, so like the arch rival. That's some Benedict stuff right there. It's that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I got you covered here, sort of. If I knew my soundboard, but and I'll probably get a 1-star review. But I look forward to those. But I cannot find my shotgun sound. Damn it! This thing moved across. I'll just play. Hold on. I think I'm close to this right now. But my point is that yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. But I was surprised when you go through history. Bo Schembechler is an Ohio State guy, so sometimes this stuff happens. I can't find my shotgun sound. The 1-star review will have to wait because I don't know if you guys remember this, but last year doing college football when Malik Heath, who was a wide receiver for Mississippi State, and Mike Leach, who's a friend of ours, rest in peace to great Coach Leach. Who's the biggest rival in Mississippi State? It's Ole Miss, and he left. He started from Mississippi State. It's not like a situation where he got benched. He started from Mississippi State and he left for Ole Miss. So on the Mississippi State preview, when I heard that, I went like this. And then I got like 3 1-star reviews over a course of like a week because they said like, this is ridiculous that you would judge this guy on this standards. He's just looking for a better opportunity. Yeah. And he can go anywhere else, but not fucking Ole Miss. All right. Come on. You can go anywhere. Just don't go to your arch rivals.
And Trevor in the chat makes a good point. Or sorry, Coca Booger does. Jared Haas at Stanford played at Cal. So you got Benedicting from both sides. You got the former Cal player coaching Stanford. You got the former Stanford player coaching Cal. The band is on the field. The band's on the court right now. I don't know what the hell's going on. Is Pac-12 even going to be there?
Yeah. Oh man, that is insane. I didn't even think about that. That's even worse. I'm all confused now. I don't know what to do.
Trade.
Yeah. I don't know what to talk about now. You know what I mean? That's just, I'm all mixed up, but it's probably a good hire, but I mean, I would be weary, just because you had Mark Fox, you're going with another Mark, things aren't working. You got to just maybe try something different, but he did a damn good job at Utah Valley. I mean, Utah Valley was a covering machine for us. So we love Utah Valley and we wish Madsen the best, I guess. I don't know. All right, folks, before we get into the actual games, because that's all the hires, right? I know there's.
You got one more.
Who am I forgetting?
Who is Larinaga's point guard at George Mason, the Final Four?
Oh, how did I forget this one? Tony Skinn.
He's going back to Mason.
Skinn. Yes. He was, Jim Larinaga's old. He's a Mason graduate.
Yep.
Going back to George Mason. Great hire. I love to see this one. Go Tony Skinn. And start your football program, George Mason. All right, look, before we jump into these actual games, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college basketball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by WynnBET. Yes, WynnBET's now active in Massachusetts and a ton of other states. Be on the lookout for WynnBET's Win Hour each Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. During WynnBET's Win Hour, marquee games of the week will have better odds on WynnBET, giving you a larger payout opportunity. And well, March Madness is here. So many ways to bet on the Final Four and the big dance. Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, get $100. Limited to state availability, of course. But also for our DJs only, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you can get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from, and all you have to do is head over to WynnBET.com or download the WynnBET app today. Offer subject to the same terms and conditions. WynnBET.com must be 21 or older. Present state where WynnBET is available. If you or someone you know is a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the SGP Masters. Yeah. Looking to hang out with Stacking the Money Green and Ryan Real Money Kramer of the Sports Gambling Podcast at Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. You'll be hanging out and you'll be watching the biggest golf tournament in the world. Come on. You can win a 3-night stay at Circle Las Vegas to hang with the guys. The contest is completely free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/golf party. And if you don't win the contest, you can still get a discount on the room using the promo code SGP15. We're also brought to you by SGP Final Four Watch Party. Yes, come hang out with myself here and Stacking the Money Green and Real Money Kramer, because we're going to be giving you some play-by-play, some live bets, prize giveaways, and much, much more this Saturday for the entire Final Four Saturday over at youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast. So make sure you tune in, and remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. All right, here we go. Florida Atlantic. Take it on San Diego State. 309 on the west, 609 on the east in Houston, Texas. San Diego State's laying 2.5. The over-under is at 131.5 that I'm seeing right now. Mac, what are you doing? And what are you doing on the total?
Definitely like the under. I think this is a rock fight in a football stadium. So 4 yards in a cloud of dust in this game with these guards and the physicality. I think it's important to see who the referees are too, because if they let these guys play, this might be a first of 50 wins. Just with the way that San Diego State mucks these games up. I've gone back and forth on this one. I think this is going to be a tightly contested game. I'm going to lean to the experience of San Diego State. Matt Bradley, I think, finally makes some shots for him. I mean, we talked about it the other night. He's 6 of his last 30. I think he finally comes through. Tramel's been great. Butler, Leedy, Parrish. I think they grind this game out and they make their foul shots down the stretch to cover this thing and get it done and move on to the Monday championship.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting thing when you dive in. They play at the faster pace. Florida Atlantic does. Much faster pace than San Diego State. And they shoot the three so much better than San Diego State, but San Diego State defends the three better than Florida Atlantic. They rebound the ball surprisingly a lot better than San Diego State, which is crazy because you consider they kind of play a lot of guards. They're the better passing team than San Diego State, but then, and actually they chart better defensively. Now I don't know if that means they're the better defensive team, because San Diego State played like the Maui tournament. Sometimes it can be, analytics can be a little bit of a bullshit to a certain extent. I'm fascinated by this matchup. I have a hard time picking it too, but how about you, Jacob? What are you doing here total wise, and what are you liking for the game?
Sure. Now, Colby, you said, San Diego State is good at defending the three. They're not just good at defending the three. They're the nation's second best 3-point defense team. And with FAU averaging about 10 threes a game, if they can defend that three, that's going to really hurt them, scoring wise. So one thing FAU likes to do is they will run with their opponent. They one thing that we've seen them do is play to the style that their opponent is. So if you want to run, they'll run. If you want to play defense and muck it up, that's what they'll do. But I think if they want to play to San Diego State style, they're going to run into trouble. Like Max said, they're the more experienced team. I think they're more physical. And because of that, I think FAU is going to run into a buzzsaw here with San Diego State. And I think San Diego State is going to advance. I was wrong on my first call with them. I had them going out in the first round, but they've made me believers in this tournament. So I really like them here. I like them to cover too. The three, and on the total, I'm on the under as well. Like I said, I think San Diego State's going to muck it up. We saw what they did to Creighton. Really aggravated them a lot the whole game, their style of play. And I don't think FAU has the experience to be able to deal with that. If Creighton, which was a deep team with a lot of experience, couldn't, and other people we've seen them run through, I think FAU's Cinderella story ends here.
Do you think it would be a blowout though? Is that, or do you I kind of got the feeling like you thought it might be a blowout?
I think honestly, I could see a double-digit win for San Diego State here. I really do think that they have the ability. I think if it comes down to free throws at the end too, so we get some late game fouling, I could see them maybe up 6, a couple late fouls, and that gets them to double digits.
Wow, guys, I'm on the under. I'm on San Diego State, which means there's no way we're fucking.
Oh yeah, we're all
this, right. Yeah. There's no way we're hitting this now.
It's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the fact it's at that football stadium, that filthy football stadium in Houston, and the fact that normally, you don't have great shooting performances in those arenas. I feel like this is definitely going to be a rock fight. And then you add in the fact that both teams are really elite defensively. San Diego State's so poised. You saw it in the Alabama game. Even if they go down 8 or 9, I feel like they'll be fine. And we saw the same thing happen with FAU in the Tennessee game. They were down, I feel like 6, 7, even 8 at times, and they hung around. And so I think this is just a shoo-in for a rock fight. The under's got to play. I'm all over San Diego State because I really believe when you look back at that Memphis game, I do think Memphis is the one team that probably should have beat FAU. And, when I look at what that team was, the Memphis Tigers this year, they were super experienced. They were super athletic. What is San Diego State? Super experienced, super athletic. If anything, they play a lot better. They're even better as a team than Memphis. But I think, they got past Memphis. It worked out for them. I think San Diego State catches up to them, but I think this is going to be a one or two possession game. I think at like the 4-minute mark, I'm going to be sitting there sweating saying, fuck, am I going to pull this out? Cause I'm going to bet, even though I don't feel when it gets to the Final Four, folks,
you have to bet
I bet the hell out of it, even though I don't feel like this is like, you could talk me, like if I have another whiskey, the fucking janitor at this place could probably talk me into taking Florida Atlantic. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to bet heavy here, but I'm going with the Aztecs, and I'm definitely paranoid that all three of us agreed on the fucking total and the fact we're all taking San Diego State.
Hey, Colby, if I could just touch on one thing, if you were looking for another bet to make on this, you want to keep an eye on something live. I would take a look at the matchup between Nathan Mensah and Vladislav Golden, the two big men for each team. I think if Nathan Mensah is really bullying Vladislav down low, maybe take a look at hitting San Diego State live again. I think that's going to really depend a lot on what happens down low in the rebound game, and I think if he's bullying them down there, I think that's going to say a lot to what San Diego State's going to do in the game. So keep an eye on it early to maybe rebet San Diego State.
I like it. And especially if San Diego State gets down, because I feel like San Diego State having all that experience together, I actually like them if they get down to come back more likely than I do Florida Atlantic. Sure. Now, what I am concerned about, I'm not even concerned, I guess, but I'm just, I'm thinking about the matchups, all the time. I'm in the morning eating my fucking cereal and I'm like, who's going to guard John L. Davis? You know what I mean? Like, who do you think they're going to match up on Davis? Cause I think he's really the gas that makes this Florida Atlantic team go, and sometimes it's not even on him making baskets. It's him grabbing an offensive rebound. It's him finding a way to get the other guy in foul trouble or taking a charge. I'm curious, Mac, what do you think? What do you think their approach will be? I know San Diego, both these teams, by the way, incredibly deep. So it's going to be fascinating to see the matchups. But who do you think Dutcher puts on Davis essentially?
Probably Bradley, just because of his size, but like San Diego State switches a lot of things. I just think that from a physicality standpoint and experience that they're able to, whoever it is, they're so dialed into the scouting report. We saw with Alabama. They knew every single little thing that Alabama was going to do, whether the guy was right, left, what hand he was going to wipe his ass with. I mean, they were all over everything. San Diego State against Alabama. That I just think that they're going to be so dialed into John L. Davis and Elijah Martin that I just think that they'll be able to wear down the Owls throughout this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by this matchup. I really am. This is by far, and I want to see the other game too. But this one I've been swaying back and forth on all week as far as like, man, I could see them pulling that off. Oh, okay, yeah, but. At the end of the day, I think the more, we've seen this actually in like the past 5 March Madnesses. I feel like experience pays. Now, FAU is still experienced because those guys have been with the program like 3 years, but they're still sophomores because the COVID eligibility and the red shirt rule, right? But I think San Diego State is more experienced, so I'm going to go with that. I also believe that they win this game. They can also have a party for the Pac-12 or Big 12 because I think they're going to be in one of the two. One of the two they're going to be in very shortly. I would even say by the time football season kicks off, I would put like minus 200 on the fact that San Diego State's going to be in the Power 5, or the quote unquote Power 5 by then.
The Pac-12 better not fuck that one up.
If they fuck that one up, they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fired.
Like,
yep.
Now, luckily for the Pac-12, they don't have Larry Scott, because Larry Scott would fuck that up.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, he'd probably give a like, I think San Diego, the Toreros, they probably fit more of our grades. I feel like academically they fit in with the model of the Pac-12. Yeah, academics ain't paying for that fucking TV contract, buddy. All right, get San Diego State in there now. And I had someone in the on the YouTube comments the other day said San Diego State's incredibly hard to get into. I double checked that because they were ridiculing my comment. No, not true. Not true. Now it's gotten better academically from say 15 years ago, but it's still no Stanford or something, buddy. So you're full of shit. You know what I mean? And all right, let's hop on over to the other game here. 5:49 p.m. on the West, 8:49 on the East. Miami Hurricanes, Jimmy Larinaga. What a story. Weekend of Bernie's 3 is being made right before our eyes, people. They're in Houston, Texas once again, because that's where the whole Final Four is. The UConn Huskies, Dan Hurley. Man, they've been a great story. I've been looking like a fool betting against them. But the Huskies are back in the Big East where they're supposed to be. They're laying 5.5 against the Miami Hurricanes. First, before we dive into this, I thought this line would be 8, 7.5, 8, maybe even 8.5. Am I crazy that the line is 5.5? Jacob, what would you set this line at?
I'm right there with you. We've seen UConn be favored by I think it's 9.5, 4, 3.5, and 2.5 so far this tournament. They've won each of those games by more than 15 points. We've seen them win by 24, 23, and 28. They've been running through competition. And I really think that Miami is in trouble here. I think this is going to be the end of the run for them. They don't have the depth. They don't have the size. UConn is just the better overall team and has been for a while. I get the run that Miami went on. I get their regular season, but this UConn team has really just been dominant since they had that little lull in the middle of the season where they lost like 5 of 6, something like that. They've just been really dominant all across the board. And I think this is UConn all the way.
Yeah. What do you like on that 149 total too?
Oh, I'm sorry. On the total.
No, you're good.
Over.
You're good.
Yeah,
I didn't
like
ask you that. Yeah.
I like the over here for sure. I think UConn puts up at least 80. And I think Miami does their part. I think it'll be closer, towards halftime. And I think UConn will pull away towards the end of the game, which is going to push it towards the over. So I'm on the over here.
On the over, on the UConn Huskies.
UConn spread too. Yeah, I'm taking them on the points. Yeah.
Laying the 5.5. On the over as well. Mac, do you agree with Jacob? And what are you doing in this game? Essentially on both the total and the game.
I'm actually on the under just because I think UConn's rim protection. Miami the other day didn't really shoot a bunch of threes. They kind of just kept driving the ball. They got the benefit of the whistle down the stretch. I don't think that they're going to be able to score at the rim really well against Sonogo and Klingon. I'm definitely on UConn here. I kind of been on UConn for a couple weeks now. I just think this is a bad matchup for Miami. I think if Dylan Dessou had played for Texas, that really would have bothered them in the interior, especially with Omier getting in foul trouble. I just don't see how Omier can take on, kind of like we touched on with Timmy, how Timmy just got worn down by the duo of Sonogo and Klingon. I just think that they wear down Omier, and I'm going to take UConn. I think they pull away late, and they're going to be playing for their 5th national championship in 25 years on Monday night.
Unbelievable.
It really is. It's the most underrated, blue blood.
Yeah. Any bozo that thinks there's not a blue blood in the Final Four, I don't know what else they got to do to prove to you that UConn's a blue blood. I get it. They had a couple tough years, but shit, we could say that about Carolina and the you know, in a certain era, the dude after Dean Smith. I'm drawing a blank right now. Is it Daugherty? No,
Doherty.
Matt,
Yeah.
Not Brad Daugherty. But yeah, I mean, look, all these schools. I mean, shit. UCLA went through that Steve Alford era. You can go on and on and on. UConn is certainly a blue blood. But you know, I will say, get this shit out of here. All right, because look, I get it, UConn. All right, you made me look like a fool. I'm diving back in though. I'm diving back in. I was doing deep analysis here, going game by game, put them all on God's eye. I had every UConn game in the tournament on God's eye. And one thing stood out to me. They haven't played many good guards. They have not played many good guards. Like, what's the weakness of Gonzaga? I feel like their guard play. What's the weakness of Arkansas? I feel like they don't have great guards. What's the weakness of who did they play in the second round again?
St. Mary's.
Second round. Well, St. Mary's actually has a couple guys, but still, they're not athletic. They're not like super athletic. You know whose guards are super athletic? Miami's. All right, I think Miami's guards can be a problem for them. And look at what UConn did when they did lose to teams in the Big East. Normally, they were teams with great guard play. I think Miami has that now. You Mac, you did say you brought up Norchad Omier. He does have to stay out of foul trouble, because if he gets in foul trouble, I could see a situation where they do get their ass kicked. He stays out of foul trouble. Jordan Miller's going to keep shooting away. Jim Larinaga has the coaching advantage and the coaching experience. The Miami Hurricanes not only cover, they win it on the motherfucking money line. I cannot wait for this game. And I'm also on the over, just like Jacob said. I think this is going to be a little more scoring than people think. So what do you think about my guard angle here, Mac? I know you break down film left and right. Dude, I went through and I was watching that Arkansas game. Arkansas, I mean, come on, dude. They could barely get the ball up the court. And I don't know if it was UConn's defense or the fact that they just play like a bunch of fucking maniacs. You know what I mean? So I think Miami's got a shot in this. I really do. And I think the line even tells you 78% of the bets when I checked earlier today are on the UConn Huskies. Miami's going to win this fucking thing.
I feel like UConn's been the public team though, like 3 straight games, like St. Mary's, Arkansas, Gonzaga. They were the public team in all those. And they go on these runs where it's like 10-0 run, 15-0 run. Next thing you know, it's like a 20-0 run. And you're like, God damn, we were just down 2. Now we're down 22. I just think that their size and athleticism is going to wear them down. I think Arkansas actually has decent guards. I mean, they have a couple prospects, but I know Miami's has had a good run, and Larinaga is a great coach. But last time Larinaga got to the Final Four, they got drilled by Florida as well. So
but they also were George Mason. All right, this ACC
spread,
hater just coming.
The spread is similar.
Bring it on. Bring it on. You guys are going to be wrong. The Hurricanes are getting it done. And I'm sorry to my friend in the chat, Dave, who's a UConn diehard. Look, and I said I was buying in. I'm still not. I lied. All right. What did Commando? What does he say? Sully's like, I thought you said you'd kill me last. I lied. I lied. Miami's going to win here. Miami is I like, the more I think about this matchup, the more I like the Miami Hurricanes in this game. The fact they did beat Houston and Texas, the way they beat Houston and Texas. Houston was a great rebounding team. Guess what? Miami's a terrible rebounding team. Guess what happened? Miami rebounded the ball better and beat the hell out of them. And I thought Larinaga did a great job making adjustments in almost all of the games. In almost all of the games they've played. Go back to the Drake game. Like 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left. He goes to that full court press. That thing ruined Drake's momentum. They were rattled from there. Miami got out of that game alive, even though I know we were on Drake. But I mean, I'm telling you, I think he has legit coaching advantage, and I think the whole world is taking UConn here. I love the Hurricanes here. Lock this thing up for me. Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
I'm
Cannot
locking
wait. Yeah.
UConn. I'm locking
Oh,
UConn.
Bring
Let's
it
go.
on.
U
Bring
is
it
for
on.
UConn. Baby.
Let's go. It's all about the U, baby. The U. Let's go.
Hey, Rick Pitino, Randy Bennett, the Must Bus, Mark Few, and now Larinaga. That's who Dan Hurley's beating, or who he could beat after Saturday. I mean, those are some good coaches.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, Dan Hurley's making me eat shit one way or another. Even if he loses this game, he can definitely send me a "fuck you" Christmas card, and I'd have to eat it. You know what I mean? He made the Final Four. So, shout out to David. He goes, Mac, you're invited to the rent to catch a UConn football game. I could stay home. Sorry, David. All right, look,
Jim Moore, baby.
I live about 20 minutes from there. I'll see you at the game.
there you go. See, that's what it is. It's a personal play for you because you've partied there.
Oh,
and for
many a time.
See, you guys' emotions are too involved because you've partied there, probably had great times. And then you have Mac, who's in this ACC feud for like 3 months. And I get tagged in all this shit. You know what I mean? I get tagged in all this where they're like, "Hey, Colby, told you think about it." I didn't say that about the ACC. I mean, I said
ACC sucks.
Yeah. I was partying at UConn when Okafor was still there.
Yes, they have a Final Four team. So does FAU in the Conference USA, and so does San Diego State in the Mountain West. That doesn't mean you have a good league.
It doesn't matter if Miami wins. You're backing up just 3 months of anger. You're too attached to this thing. Me, old Pick Dundee, back here on the fucking island. All right, we're sitting there having a cocktail, and I go, "Hey, all the money's on UConn. Larinaga's been beaten." And look, you want to bring up the other side of things. Like Larinaga's beaten like some of the best teams. We thought you said on this very show, Mac, that Texas could win the national championship. You were like pretty much sold on them after the Sweet 16. You're like, you know what, Texas is going to win the national championship. Larinaga, not a problem. You go back a week before that, you're like, I think Houston's going to win the national championship. Larinaga, not a problem. All right, they've been doing it left and right. Hurricanes upset
with Texas though. I mean, Dylan DeSue was averaging 28 and 10 in an NCAA tournament, and he didn't play that game. That was a huge piece that Texas missed on Sunday.
You got an excuse for every fucking thing. All right, everything, buddy. I love you, but come on, Miami beat fucking Houston, dude. They are legit. They should be here.
They played well that game.
They beat Indiana. I thought Indiana was going to beat them. They are a legit team. And look, another thing that when I dive into UConn, and sorry, David, but when I dive into UConn, they do have a turncoat on their team, a true turncoat. And, and Tristan Newton, who transferred from East Carolina. So you're definitely going to lose this game because and I will add in this.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart.
So if you go for it every time at East Carolina, but you leave, that does mean you have a weak heart, which means UConn's got a weak heart. And that is why the Miami Hurricanes are going to win this thing. Let me ask you this, Jacob. Let's get to this little lock here. What game do you feel better about, Jacob?
UConn, for sure. Yeah, not even hesitation. Not because I'm a homer or anything like that. One thing that really has me concerned in this game is Miami's bench. They're like 322nd in the nation in bench points. And I think UConn's physicality is really going to make Miami pay. If they do get into foul trouble, that bench is not going to be able to help out, and that's where the blowout comes.
I will say I'm a little scared of the Norchad Omier foul trouble thing. That is the one thing that I think can derail my upset call, because I am playing it on the money line. And believe it or not, my lock is not San Diego State. It is the Miami Hurricanes. I think the Miami Hurricanes are going to get it done. I think they cover the 5.5. I'm on the money line. And I'm on the over. Mac, I know you just said your lock is UConn. Do you like that one better than the San Diego State angle?
Yeah, I really do like UConn. I think they're significantly a better team. If I got to give out a dog, I will probably go UConn and San Diego State parlayed. Both money lines.
Ooh.
National championship. And I think San Diego State could give UConn problems.
Lot of chalk. A lot of chalk in the air.
Write it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So wait, let me ask you this then. I mean, I know we're gonna do our national championship show. Like we're gonna have a show Saturday night or Sunday night, previewing the national championship. But you're saying it's gonna be San Diego State UConn. Who wins that if that is the matchup, Mac?
I think UConn barely beats them. I think that's the way. Like UConn does not want to see San Diego State, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
going
to ask you this. I'm going to ask you the same question there. I'm going to ask you the same question, Jacob. But hang on, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you, we're brought to you by Sword Vitality. Almost forgot to read this one. Be honest. Sometimes you might, you don't want to forget important things. You know what I mean? Like life's best with an erection, right? Let's be honest. All right. An erection's a good thing. It's a good thing. And, you should be proud of that. And you should take care of yourself if that's not happening, because the reality is 40% of men are affected by impotence at the age of 40 and nearly 70% of men are affected at the age of 70. Jimmy Larinaga, what are you doing? Give me a call. All right. Stop buying highly suspect pills and gas stations. Let's be honest. We've all been pretty drunk before and bought a little horny goat weed at the gas day at the Exxon. You know what I mean? Stir that thing up with your vodka Red Bull. You know what I mean? Done it before. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. All right. I'm just telling you, it's bullshit. So, look, no more hiding that, that little blue pill in your sock drawer. Although I never did that one. Not that I'm opposed to it, but never did that one. But come on, look, you Manscaped, take care of your plumbing, people. Take care. Sword Vitality helps increase your blood flow in ways that helps you thrive as a man. I mean, come on, guys. If you're having a little issue, this is 2023. This isn't like fucking 1800 where you just, hope that whiskey dick is going to work this time. You know what I mean? This time you got options. All right. This is what you do. Look, because I hike, I watch football, I watch Final Fours, and I use Sword Vitality, and I'm proud of it, people. You don't gotta have shame. You know what I mean? Increase your blood flow in ways that help you thrive as a man in the bedroom. Sword Vitality can help you increase your stamina. You don't have to hide it. You can be proud of it. Like I said, come on, look. I guarantee you, your significant other is going to love you for it. All right. They're going to love you for it. So unsheath your sword. All right. Visit swordvitality.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a nice discount at the checkout. That's swordvitality.com. Promo code SGPN. All right. We're back. It's my transition. All right. We're back. And here we are. I am curious what your national champion. I mean, so it sounds like you have San Diego State, UConn as well. Jacob, who do you have winning the thing?
I like UConn in a close game. I think it'll be a low scoring final. I think San Diego State will really muck it up in that too. And I honestly, I think that's going to be the best game of the tournament just because the two vastly style difference of play between the two teams. But yeah, I do like UConn to win the whole thing.
UConn to win the whole thing. So I have Miami, San Diego State. Whew. And look, if that happens, I think the Miami Hurricanes are your national champion. Jimmy Larinaga walks off into the sunset. You know what I mean? He's already in South Florida. He takes a little boat over to Cuba. We never hear from him again. All right. Never hear from you. I could see James Larinaga liking a little cocaine with his rum and cigar. I could just see it. I could see that. Could you buy into James Larinaga perhaps being a cocaine guy down there? I could totally see it. Totally see it.
No doubt.
Just
he's a Cuban by default because he's in the Miami community.
Let's talk about this. Out of the four remaining coaches, you got Dutcher, you got FAU guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name from Indiana. Why am I drawing a blank on his name right now?
Dusty May,
James Larinaga, and Hurley. who'd be the coolest? Who'd be the coolest to go have a few cocktails with?
Not Dan Hurley.
It's Larinaga. I'm curious, Jacob. Who would you go? If you had to pick? Hey, let me go have a couple cocktails. Who do you think would be the best time?
We got to go to Miami, of course. I mean, just the environment. And he's been down there for a while, so
he's plugged in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Dutcher.
Dutcher's my number 2. Dutcher's my 2 seed. Yeah. But Larinaga knows where all the strip clubs are. Yeah. Larinaga knows where all the strip clubs are. Dutcher's probably, I could see him being like a whiskey guy, being a little more than what you think. I think when it comes to May and Hurley, I think it's a blockbuster night.
Well, just imagine the kind of boosters you have in Miami.
That's true. That's true.
You got Dutcher doing the fall away from the ladder every time they win a championship. He don't give a shit. He'll throw back some shots and have some whiskey.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is if we're setting odds, I would say like Larinaga's like minus 300 for like the best time. Dutcher might be like a nice value play at like plus 200, and May has what's it called vibes, the old vice president from Indiana. Trump's yes, but May's got little Pence vibes to him. I mean, look, I'm not saying that doesn't make you a bad person. I'm a little uneasy when I see you do an interview. I go, I don't know, but either way, those are our power rankings, and that's why you come to the college basketball experience, folks. I want you right now to get on over and subscribe to the MLS Gambling Podcast and give Jacob Reb a follow on Twitter at Pick Management. Jake, we really appreciate you. All the great work you do, whether it's the MLS Gambling Podcast, whether it's MLB, articles that you're doing, college basketball articles that you're doing, or the MLS Gambling Podcast. Make sure next year you reserve a couple dates to come back here and talk college hoops with us, man.
I am always available. It's been a pleasure to be here. Been a big fan for a long time. It's been really a treat to be here. Hope you guys had some good info. Make sure to got some good info from me. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and TikTok at Pick Management. MLS Gambling Podcast just dropped on your favorite podcast player and YouTube when I'm done here. And good luck to everyone on the Final Four.
There we go. And Yvette says Pick Management is better than load management. Amen. Facts. Folks, we really appreciate you all year. And I know we still got a couple episodes to do. And like I said, we're going to be going in the off season. All right. We're going to still be talking about coaching hires, transfer portal, all this good stuff. Some of that might be Max solo or with some friends, because I am going to be in South America for a month. I'm pulling a Larinaga and going down to South America. You're not going to find me anywhere. Go in airplane mode, guys. Go in airplane mode in South America. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate how what we've turned this chat into and this community to. It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun. My guy Greg Kalish. Greg's a great guy. Known him for a while now over the years. David, even though he hates me for picking against UConn. I love you, David, and I appreciate you coming in here every night. Trevor, everybody, we really appreciate you. And do us a favor and spread the word of the college basketball experience if you can. Subscribe, not just on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, but also if you can subscribe, anywhere podcasts are heard, we're there. All right. The college football experience as well. The college baseball experience as well. Yes, we come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Also, I host the USFL Gambling Podcast, the XFL Gambling Podcast, and on the Sports Gambling Podcast as well. Check out all of those feeds. Mac has a bunch of great work. The NFL Gambling Podcast, the Ryan and Rush Show, and he's going to have a third podcast coming soon that we'll talk about in a few months here. But make sure you give him a follow on Twitter at moneyline_Mac. We appreciate each and every one in the chat, even the 1-star ratings. I fucking love them. I'll be honest. I almost want to ask for 1-star ratings, but my problem is I'd probably get fired from my job. So please, 5-star ratings on iTunes with the occasional 1-star. I'd appreciate it. Folks, get the SGPN app in the App Store and Google Play Store. And remember, Saturday, watch the Final Four with us, not Nance. He's in the old folks home already. All right. Look, until then, and also Discord, come talk sports with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And I think, I think you'll dig it. Doesn't matter if it's the Baja 500 down there in Mexico. We got channels with sports knowledge. It's all there. You got to check it out. A lot of fun. All right, folks, until Saturday. Well, yeah, Saturday night reaction show. This is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Spit my darts, you get ripped apart. Save the cookie cutter mutter for 106 apart. Cause of your liquor will I sip your heart. You never dumb it down, dog. If you're smart, I throw out a couple of lines. Fighters are quick to cross. Fishy you on the dick to lie. Pitch you ball, pickles, tits and bras, lips and jaws. I use my common sense to see the bitch and all. Good thing you got the market cornered. Kids and malls. Grip the red carpet as you slip and fall off. Another career spear. Thanks for trying to block. You get an A for effort and an F for shut the fuck up. Here's a hint. Put down the mic and catch a glimpse. And keep them eyes wide when you see me. Mics I sees them. So when you see him, you got a good reason to look. Catch a glimpse. A lot of these heads need to improve their improv. Talent's not a program you download and install. Quality spread through hard work, no involved. My peers respect me cause I'm genuinely involved. Beyond gathering names to build up my buddy list. You decide friendships and pounds of suicide and bloody risk. Come equipped or leave empty handed. They don't call me C's for nothing. See the camera? Smile, click. Here comes the picture. You act like a child. Manhood don't fit you. I'll break your whole style down to a bumper sticker. And never need a gun to lift you. Here's a hint. Put down the mic and catch a glimpse. And keep them eyes